Las Vegas used to feel like magic, free drinks, cheap buffets, and the dream of hitting it big. But today, that magic feels different. Visitors are shocked at how expensive, crowded, and disappointing the city has become. And here's why you should care. Millions still plan trips, not realizing just how much Vegas has changed. If you are thinking about going, you need to hear this. These are the 9 biggest reasons tourists are leaving unhappy, and wait until you see number 9. Nickel and dimming. Everywhere. Vegas is bleeding tourists dry before they ever hit the casino floor. Bottled water at the pool, $10. An early check-in fee, $50. Resort fees routinely tack on $30, $50 a night, and those often cover only Wi-Fi, a fitness center, or amenity access that's already broken or minimal. In recent press coverage, travelers complained of $14 coffees and $95 ATM withdrawal charges. Fox News, this isn't isolated. In June 2025, Las Vegas saw an 11.3% drop in visitor volume compared to June 2024. Nearly 400,000 fewer people. Tourism experts point at rising prices as one of the key reasons. What is happening is that hotels advertise a so-called base rate, maybe $99, but then bury it under hidden fees, mandatory resort charges, parking, internet access, and commissions. Many first-time visitors do not realize until they are checking out that their stay cost 50 to 100% more than the advertised price. A frequent commenter put it bluntly, feels like every step in Vegas is a revenue opportunity. Once you add up all the upsells and hidden fees, those so-called affordable mid-tier hotels end up costing as much as high-end resorts. The nostalgia for cheap Vegas, when your biggest gamble was on blackjack instead of broken promises, feels like a relic. The result is fewer people willing to take the gamble. And when you're already paying more than expected, the last thing you want to discover is that the room itself does not live up to the price. Number 8. Rooms falling apart. Behind the gloss of the Strip, many Vegas hotel rooms are crumbling. Housekeepers confess the maintenance can't keep up. Stained carpets, peeling paint, broken air conditioners, and elevators that stall. Guests routinely post photos of cracked tiles or mold in showers. What's alarming is how widespread the issue seems. Even top-tier resorts aren't immune. On traveler forums, guests report paying $250, $400 a night, only to deal with flickering lights, broken fixtures, or faulty climate control. Part of the problem is staffing cuts. Hotels are reportedly operating with slimmed-down maintenance crews. Rooms with minor defects may go months without repair because staff is stretched thin. One former employee told us they skip parts of the rooms just to hit quotas. Meanwhile, occupancy pressure is high. Las Vegas has over 150,600 hotel rooms as of recent data. In 2024, the average occupancy rate was 83.6%, with an average daily room rate of $193.16. But high occupancy is not a guarantee that quality holds. In many cases, it means wear and tear accelerate. Luxury and boutique hotels once served as showcases with high-end finishes, impeccable upkeep, and that classic Vegas glam aura. Now, many guests say that feeling is gone. Paying premium rates no longer guarantees premium condition. The contrast between advertisements and the reality on the ground is creating a trust gap. People once took photos of grand lobbies, iconic pool decks, and dazzling rooms. Now many leave with snapshots of cracked walls, leaking faucets, or doors that do not fully close. When guests check out feeling like their room was a bait and switch, Vegas loses more than a night's stay. It loses reputation. And in a world of reviews and social media, those broken rooms travel faster than any marketing campaign. And the truth is, even when the room disappoints, Vegas used to make up for it with simple perks. But one of the most trusted freebies has quietly vanished. Number 7, no more free parking perks. Free parking used to be a hallmark of Las Vegas, a silent promise that you could arrive without worrying. But that landscape changed. Even suburban casinos that once catered to locals are now charging for parking, often at steep rates. Today, garage fees of $10.25 per night are becoming common on the Strip. Some casinos charge hourly rates for valet or self-parking. Even guests staying overnight can face 25 plus odds parking surcharges atop resort fees. For many locals and casual visitors, this feels like salt in the wound. Free parking once symbolized inclusion, that Vegas wanted you, whether your wallet was fat or thin. Now, it feels like every inch of your trip is being monetized, but it's not just symbolic, it has real economic impact. Parking fees add to the already inflated cost of a Vegas trip, making the destination less competitive. When hotels were promoting free parking packages just a few years ago, those are vanishing or becoming gimmicks. The shift also has consequences for visitor behavior. Some day trippers bypass the strip entirely. Others find parking so burdensome they limit their time exploring. Locals who once wandered the casinos late at night now think twice before doing so. When the community that built and supported Vegas starts avoiding it, something fundamental has changed. For a city built on hospitality and spectacle, removing the gift of free parking may have been a small step, but it's one that echoes loudly in the hearts of longtime fans. And the surprises don't end at the parking garage. Step inside and you'll notice another change. Number 6. Tech fees replace. People Vegas is leaning hard into automation, and it's changing the feel of the city. Self-check kiosks, tablet-based room control, QR menus, app-only services. What used to be human service is now digital. The problem? Tourists say it often feels impersonal, frustrating, and full of hidden costs. One visitor complained, I didn't pay hundreds to deal with a kiosk that doesn't work. Behind the scenes, former hotel staff report that the push toward tech is largely a cost-cutting move. There are fewer front desk agents, fewer maintenance calls, and fewer human touches. When problems arise, such as your room door not opening or your reservation not syncing, there is often no one to help. Guests are funneled into a call queue or chatbot. These systems come with fees too. Digital processing, surcharges, app convenience charges, or system access fees show up buried in bills. A few properties are known to tack on $10 to $20 transaction fees for mobile check-in or room key activation. Meanwhile, kiosks sometimes require extra staffing oversight because the technology fails under heavy volume, but the guest-facing fix is rarely seamless. There is also a human toll. As hotels cut staff, many roles that once required training or hospitality skill are replaced or redefined. That means fewer empathetic employees and more reliance on tech support lines. Tourists who travel for the feeling, the anticipation of being seen, welcomed, and pampered find that replaced with confirm your identity prompts and security scans. In a city built on spectacle and sensory overload, the old Vegas promise was simple. You show up and they take care of you. Now you show up and they expect you to take care of yourself through an app. When the service disappears behind screens, the sparkle dims. And while guests feel the loss of human service, the locals themselves are fighting an even tougher reality. Number 5, locals can't afford Vegas. Either. Here's a bitter irony. The people who make Vegas hum, dealers, servers, housekeepers, can no longer afford living near what they serve. Housing costs around the Strip and in Clark County have surged, but wages haven't kept pace. So many hospitality workers commute long distances just to pay rent. In Clark County, the average one-way commute time is about 17 minutes, 2023 estimate. While that may seem modest, it's only the average, and many workers endure much longer rides. Add in the cost of fuel, vehicle maintenance, insurance, and time spent in traffic, and the burden quickly compounds. A casino dealer recently told a local forum, "I drive over an hour each way because that's the only place I can afford." In online thread, staff describe living in outlying towns or even across county lines, sometimes relocating just so their daily wage plus tips can cover mortgage or rent. That separation shows up in the guest experience. Workers worn out by long commutes and financial stress are more prone to burnout. Staff turnover is higher, institutional knowledge erodes, and guests notice slower service, mechanical responses, and fewer smiles. The small kindness that was once a hallmark of Vegas hospitality starts to fade when people are stretched thin trying to make ends meet. This gap matters. For decades, Vegas was considered a place where upward mobility was possible, where a worker could live, raise a family, and find opportunity. But when the cost of living pushes the workforce hours away, that stability crumbles. Tourists may not always see staffing shortages, but they feel their impact in empty dessert trays, fewer attentive bartenders, or rooms that do not get serviced on time. When the very people who are meant to deliver the Vegas experience cannot afford to stay in Vegas, the city's foundation begins to crack. And when staff are stretched thin, visitors begin to notice something else. Time slipping away in the most frustrating way possible. Number 4, tourists get trapped in lines. Vegas used to promise a non-stop rush. No clocks, no waits, just constant energy. Now, tourists are spending large chunks of their trip waiting. Lines for check-in stretch through lobbies. Security for shows queues for 30-plus minutes. Rideshare pickup zones hidden deep in garages add delay. Even elevators become bottlenecks in mega resorts. One guest review said, "I lost an hour waiting just for an Uber, then 20 more to get into the show through security." Reports across social media echo that. Large resorts house thousands of guests, but only a fraction of staff to service them. That means slow check-ins, delayed room service, and overloaded guest assistance lines. On the Strip, rideshare pickup has been a known pain point for years. Casinos push visitors into remote lots for destination pickup, which means walking or shuttle rides before you ever get in a car. Add traffic in and out of the resort district, and a simple trip gets bloated by 30-40 extra minutes. Concerts and events follow the same pattern. Even for high-paying VIP ticket holders, security lines and entry protocols are becoming more stretched, especially in peak season. That means the moment you paid for the show, your experience begins in a line. Elevators in massive towers also betray their limits. Doing 40-plus floors with guest load, service staff, maintenance crews, and security checks slows everything. Even escalators in lobbies get jammed. For a city built with bold architecture and scale, the infrastructure is creaking under its weight. What tourists once saw as waiting a bit for the fun to begin increasingly feels like the trip is baked into the logistics. The magic of spontaneous exploration is lost when your time is eaten by lines. And when every minute costs you, you start to ask, was Vegas worth all that waiting just to get started? Even if you finally make it past the waiting, what happens on the casino floor tells its own story. Number 3, no more big wins. For decades, tourists came to Vegas chasing the dream. The jackpot, the life-changing spin, a moment of euphoria when lights and bells erupted. But today, many gamblers say those big win moments are vanishing. Casinos have quietly tightened odds, raised minimum bets, and reduced payout thresholds. Slot machines in land casinos generally return around 91 to 93% of wagers, compared to about 96% for some online games. But that is just the baseline. Many high-traffic strip machines are engineered with lower payback settings, meaning your money disappears faster. On table games, skeptics point to changes in rules favoring the house, 6-5 blackjack payouts instead of the classic 3-2, casinos limiting double-down opportunities, and increasing rake on circummarine hasten for second shirt and first shirt and broker. Nekarkamos duansin makarsin bets. Even the minimum wagers have crept upward. Where you once might find $5 or $10 tables, many now enforce $25 or $50 minimums. The result is that casual players are pushed out of fun bets and forced into higher risk zones. Some dealers and longtime gamblers say the system is built to keep you spinning, not winning. One dealer told a forum, "You'll hit small wins enough to stay hopeful, but never that jackpot that changes your night." The effect is psychological. A visitor used to see someone win a big slot or a lucky blackjack hand and feel anything was possible. Now most leave with incremental losses and a feeling. Yeah, like the stories change. Instead of, I won this much, it is, I lost more than I planned. Vegas may still sell the fantasy of winning big, but in practice, that fantasy feels more elusive than ever. So yes, for many, the real jackpot is walking away without regret. And that is no longer a victory in a city built on winning. And while losing money hurts, there's an even bigger threat facing visitors today, one that no casino can control. Number 2, heat waves make the city. Unbearable Las Vegas is already a desert city, but lately its summers have crossed a threshold. Hostile, punishing, life-threatening heat. In July 2024, the city endured its 5th consecutive day above 115 degrees Fahrenheit, a record. On one recent day, the thermometer hit 120 degrees, the highest recorded in its history to date. For tourists and workers alike, that kind of heat reshapes the day. Street-level temperatures on sidewalks and parking lots often exceed ambient readings by 5 to 10 degrees, making walking between casinos an ordeal. Workers, including hotel attendants, valet staff, and waiters, scramble to find relief. Some report fainting spells, heat exhaustion, or needing frequent hydration breaks that slow service. One guest recounted watching someone collapse on a sidewalk at midday, medics rushing over as passersby scrambled for shade. Another said, by 1 in the afternoon, the strip was eerily empty. Tourists shut inside their rooms or cars. Even longtime residents warn that midday in August feels like a furnace you cannot escape. The heat does not just sap energy, it drains enthusiasm. Outdoor pool parties shrink to nighttime hours. Walking tours, street performers, and spontaneous exploration fade. Instead of strolling the strip into the evening, visitors nap or retreat indoors. More ominously, extreme heat is a public health event. Clark County opened cooling centers, hospitals saw spikes in heat-related admissions, and officials warned vulnerable populations to stay inside. When a city built around spectacle becomes dangerous outside, that is a turning point. Vegas may still glow at night, but the daytime heat is a reminder. The city is adapting, but not always kindly. And for many visitors, that intensity chips away at the vacation energy long before the sun sets, which leads to the hardest truth of all, the one that reshapes how people see Vegas altogether. Number 1, Vegas isn't special anymore. This is the hardest pill to swallow. Las Vegas no longer holds a monopoly on what once made it unique. The gambling capital is now one of many options, and many tourists are choosing alternatives that feel safer, cheaper, or simply fresher. Casinos now thrive in dozens of United States, from Pennsylvania to Florida, from Massachusetts to Michigan. You can walk into a massive casino resort with restaurants, shows, gaming floors, and nightlife, often without a cross-country flight. Why risk plane tickets, hidden fees, crowded lines, and oppressive heat when a destination closer to home offers much of the same? Newer themed resorts and integrated resorts abroad in Macau, Singapore, or Dubai offer higher-end finishes, better service, and more modern infrastructure. Many tourists tell friends, "I am going somewhere new instead of Vegas this year." Beyond that, the mystique has faded. Once the Strip was exotic, neon, risk, sin, fantasy. Now social media, streaming shows, and global access dilute its image. You can watch Vegas casinos, shows, and gaming culture from your living room. That removes much of the "you have to go there" magic. The rising costs, wear and tear, heat, high minimums, and hidden fees compound into an ugly equation. Vegas is no longer the default, it is a gamble against alternatives. For many, the calculation has shifted. Vegas can lose. And when markets open up and consumers have choice, cities built on unique draw must fight to stay exceptional. Vegas once was the gamble. Now, it is just one gamble among many. For longtime fans, that is a hard truth to face. Vegas was more than casinos and neon lights. It was a feeling, a place where you could step off the plane and instantly believe you were somewhere magical. Now, many wonder if that magic can survive the changes. So I want to hear from you. When was the last time you went, and did it live up to your memory? Or did you walk away thinking, this just is not the Vegas I used to know? Share your thoughts in the comments because your stories shape this conversation more than anything else. Vegas may not be gone, but the Vegas that built its legend is slipping further into history. The question is whether the city will fight to reclaim it or settle into being just another stop in a world full of casinos. If you enjoyed this countdown, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell.